got fear of what comes after. We'll hold on for better days. Let our past begin to shatter. Days like these, we can see the way to live out a new chapter. Tides come our way as we move closer to what matters.
Behind me here is our large tiny home that I'm currently building and living in with my fiance Logan and our dog Sadie. Now, a large tiny home sounds like a bit of an oxymoron, but there's a reason for that. For the past 5 years, Logan and I have lived off-grid in our Sprinter van, and it was time for the next step. After 60 square feet of living space, we're now moving into our tiny home, and there's a lot of requirements that come to play. Now, it's really nice because we designed and built everything ourselves. So I really want to show you where we're at right now because there's something special about that second floor and the way we designed it. But first, I want to give you a little bit of context to how we got here. It was 2020 and we were moving to the property of our dreams, a remote forested wilderness, and we needed to create access to it. So we built a driveway, and at the top of this little hill, we cleared from the forest. That way we had a living space to work in and live in because we were gonna build the homestead of our dreams. The next thing we did was drill a well because it was absolutely so important to have lots of water. And then we brought in our shipping container, which is basically our shop. We store all of our tools there, everything like that. And of course, we have lots of mishaps along the way. And before we could get started on building the tiny home or anything like that, we had to build our bathhouse. This behind me here is what we call our bathhouse, which is our toilet, shower, sink, heated off-grid area. Now the reason I'm mentioning it is because it's actually a big deal when it comes to the tiny home, and I'll show you why. Now this is gonna sound weird, but hear me out. This bathhouse is where I designed the entire tiny home. Now, I know that does sound weird, but we needed extra space, and we actually do our dishes in here as well, but let's ignore that right now. The reason that is because I have my desk in here. This desk is where I worked to make money and also was on the computer for the past 2 years, because living in a van, you have a very small amount of space. Now the reason I'm mentioning this is because not only is this bathhouse super important to design the build, but it's also important because we're not done the tiny home yet, especially the bathroom in the tiny home. So this bathhouse here is still super important. Our tiny home is actually built on a triple axle trailer, and using our designs, we got started on the build. So that brings us to now. Let's go take a look at what we've done so far. So this is our tiny home, and obviously we're still in mid-build here, but I'll show you around real quick. So coming in the main door there, you have the staircase that goes up to the spare bedroom. and the door to the washroom, which is a really large washroom with a full bath and everything like that. But it's closed off just because I have just inventory in there right now. The main space is a vaulted ceiling with skylights, which I love, and it is our kitchen. So you can see we have our dishwasher in the box there, the stove goes right next to it, our sink, tons of cabinetry, and full-size fridge. And over here is actually our rolling island, which you can really easily roll around. And we plan on making this a banquette seating for dining with a flip-up table that comes off of the back of the island. If I come across here and turn around, you will see our living room. So above the living room here, we have our main bedroom. That's the master bed. And as I said, I absolutely love these ceilings. And over here, inside of our living room space, there's Sadie sleeping. We don't have much set up. The only thing we really have in here right now is our couch. But what's really cool is that these engineered floors are completely in-floor heated. If we head upstairs, we will see the master bedroom. So it's a bit of a steep staircase. Sadie's got a bed at the top of the floor, and then we have a full queen up here. So if you notice something in the bedroom up here, there's some trim that I created for the wall. And it may seem out of place, but there's a reason for that. This entire section is completely modular and can come off. And I'll show you in the other bedroom that's currently being constructed. Like I said, steep stairs, but not much you can do about that. So this is the second bedroom that's being constructed right now. As you can see, it's just storage space as well. But behind you can see our spray foam for the insulation, and also the framing that's going on. And this is the area that gets completely disconnected. And I can show you behind this spacer here that there's your top plate and your bottom plate, and they're bolted together. You can see there's actually a bolt right here. And I have these spacers here for that wainscoting, that trim that goes around. But basically, this entire thing lifts off to give you an extra 4.5 feet of height in your loft, in our loft. And it makes a really big difference. If we didn't build this in here with a slanted roof, at this angle, the ceiling would have been right here. We didn't want to crawl into our bed like we had for so many years in the van. So that's why this is such a big deal and such a unique design, to be able to be lifted off, because it needs to be able to go on the road one day. Maybe not, but maybe one day it does need to move, and you can't take it on the road with a certain height. So this height right here is within means of traveling on the road, and that's why I designed it this way. And from the outside here, you can understand just a little bit better that gets disconnected and cut. So you can see right where my finger is, right above that window, if you were to draw a line square all the way around it, that whole piece gets lifted off. And same over here on this one. And that's kind of how it works. And it really is a unique design. It might be a little bit of a headache for other people who want a smaller tiny home that maybe travels, but it works for us. Make sure you're subscribed and you like the video. It really does help me out a lot to be able to produce content that you can see. Also, I'm kind of interested in what you think. Make sure you comment below and let me know if you'd actually live in this type of build, if you'd ever consider a lift-off tiny home, or a tiny home at all for that nature. Let me know. I'm really interested to find out. I'm always producing content. Go check out some other videos. I will produce a full tour once this house is a little bit more built. But until then, see you next video.